right, good afternoon to you. For La Crosse, as we get into it, we're holding on to some light snow that's moving through the area. Now, we knew this was going to happen as we got into the afternoon hours from noon all the way to about 3 o'clock today. This renewal of all of this band of moisture starting to pick up again. Now, we lost a lot of rainfall, but the snow continues to peak as we get into it. Some of that rain moved all the way up into portions of Minnesota and all the way up to Eau Claire. So that's where we got some of this to finish out with. And speaking of Eau Claire, we'll get into it with cloudy skies, holding on to more of that light snow continuing to change once we get into the 4 o'clock hour. La Crosse will do the same thing, and then we'll carry over into the evening hours, holding on to slick spots going into your early portion of your drive time. Then we begin to dry you out as we get after the 4 o'clock hour, moving into the 5 and 6 o'clock, where drier conditions continue to maintain all the way through the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, of course, getting into the overnight hours with the potential for fog to roll right back in. But until 3 p.m., the slick roadways are what we're dealing with. That'll also go because of freezing drizzle, little freezing rainfall, and of course 30% chance of light snow that continues to track west to east through the area. Now, the special statement is gone now, but we're also seeing that was the threat for most of that roadway hazardous conditions going on. But all the way now, as you can see, from Black River Falls extending south towards La Crosse, and of course down just before Richland, we're picking up still the winter weather advisory. So that snow continues to press through the area. That's the area of low pressure that is tracking all of this with us, and it's continued to track across the state as we go right into the 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock hour. There's the low, as I've mentioned before. It has a couple of cold fronts associated with this. One extends all the way up to Winnipeg. The other extends all the way up into portions of Denver, as well as getting into South Dakota and of course Nebraska. We're going to see this continue to drive a little bit more so to the east, getting towards Pennsylvania. High pressure is kind of slowing it up, as you can see, and eventually as that high pressure tracks down a little bit more to the southwest there, and it continues to allow this low to continue to track towards the northeast. That being said, take a look now. The winds have been light working through the area for most of the day, but as we go right through Preston, extending all the way down to Prairie du Chien, we're going to see them get to at least up to 17 miles per hour. Now, they're not considered breezy because they haven't clicked over to 18 miles per hour plus, but eventually you're going to see those winds holding on to about 17 down to the south, but not so much for the evening commute as we go into the central portion as well as the northern portion of your forecast. Speaking of that, we also have the snow continue to track out of the way into the 1 o'clock hour. You see it by Winona, Black River Falls, Sparta, and of course La Crosse. It's out of Eau Claire, but we continue to see this continue to move eastward. By the time we get in the 4 o'clock hour, it's pretty much out of our range here. Vogtfield has most of the snow, maybe Viroqua with a tad bit to the east, but it gets out of the way as we go to the 6 o'clock hour, and then we are done with more of that fog, low cloud activity possibly to move in the picture. So you can see areas picking up the snow all the way from La Crosse, and it's extending all the way down to the south zone. We'll take it back up to the central zone as you can see some numbers popping into your forecast as you see La Crosse, 37 degrees expected, well above seasonal averages for the day for most locations as well. We'll take it up to the north, Ladysmith above seasonal average, as well as Eau Claire looking at 34 degrees. All right, so we get into your highs today from 34 to about 39 degrees, possibly near 40. Cloudy skies opening up to a little bit of partly cloudy skies and getting into a little bit more of that cloud cover coming in as we finish out the afternoon, but then clearing out for the day going into your evening. Cold and of course dry conditions for mostly cloudy skies. That means we're going to see some of that cloud cover move out of the way. Temperatures as we go right into the highs for tomorrow, 30 to about 35 degrees, so we're going to be a little bit cooler. And of course, we see today 37 today, 37, 35 for tomorrow as you get into Christmas Eve. There's Santa waving at you. Hello, what's up, Santa? Then we get into Christmas. You're looking at 37 degrees again, similar to today, with rainfall and snow possibly coming over Wednesday night, going into Thursday with a 20% chance. Be safe.